Today we have a list. I actually wrote something so we can have some topics to talk about. Topics will be subjects that I found wrong with a case, and some of them why are not inside already, because they had the space, the room, but they just didn't have the proper layout, let's say so. So maybe it's gonna be a little bit long, but I hope not. Maybe somebody can wake up Louqe so they can watch this. But yeah, let's start. And first of all, let's start with the panels, and then we work up to the main chassis. Okay, top panel, and I'm gonna also cut them off from the list because I have very short memory. Yes. Rack tag, kind of nice, but it started to come apart one by one. It's nice that it's made out of this plastic material, so you can just put a lighter on top and make it, but poor quality nonetheless. It's nice, but it's not the best quality. It's just a plain simple material. It's nothing like a seat belt material or something that will be actually nice and strong and durable for a lot of time. It gets a lot of, yeah, so you have to do this from time to time. That's not fun. This is the panel that they give you as included inside the case. It's the one you put on top, and then you put your AIO cooling. But I don't understand why they didn't make hard drive mounts also out of this. So instead, if you didn't want to put AIO, you could have put two hard drives here inside, or at least one hard drive and one AIO, the small one, the 120, and then you can have a extra hard drive inside. But it's not working. You're trying to put these pieces together, and it was really nice if you could have like a hard drive mount on this one, so you can choose a small AIO, fan, or whatever you wanted, so you can modify it to your liking. I mean, the only thing you can put the bracket that they give you with the two hard drives inside here, and then you can have something else, but you can't have like a real hard drive inside. So that's kind of not nice. But that would be really nice if you could have a hard drive and then you can choose 120 AIO for the CPU, because most people will go for a lower how do you call it, for a lower TDP. So if they go for 65, they will go for air cooling, and if they go for 100, they probably go with this 120. It's plenty, especially if you get the big top hat with the Arctic cooling one, because it's really thick. Then I think it's no problem, and it would be really nice to have a hard drive next to it. Or if you want to have two hard drives, or a hard drive and a fan, but you're limited only to fans and their drive cage for a small SSD's hard drive cage, which is not that nice. So this can be very easily improved upon, so you can have very big diversity. So this is right now is just, if it's like me, it's just pointless because I can't use it for anything. So I just better just put it in the trash because I don't have any. I don't want any AIO on top, so I can't put like normal hard drives like these ones. So yeah, so this is not so very well thought out. And the spacing here is too big. This one is too big for the screw. These are because, or actually I think I'm just saying it wrong. Maybe you guys don't understand, but the head of these small screws that they give you, it's when you tighten them up, it's just gonna catch on one side. The other side is gonna be completely standing on nothing. So these small head ones, they catch only on one side. So you need different head screws for if you want to catch anything to these rails here. So the screws for these rails, the head is too small. On which hard drive do you mean? The big one? For this one? Yeah, but if you put it here, it just lines up with one hole. I mean, even if and I don't want to put it in the middle, so if I need to put it here, I just have one screw. Yeah, you can put some washers, but beats the purpose of everything. I mean, it's not a DIY project. It's much easier if they have done this out of the factory, so you just screw it on and ta-da! I don't have to think, oh, I need washers, oh, I need these screws, oh, I need to go to the hardware store again, I forgot a washer this size, and the washers won't be black as this one, so you always get the silver ones, and they're gonna look like shit. So it's not that cool. This is nice, but it's not that high end. The bottom one, same design, so you can fit only the cage on it. That's it. The cage, it doesn't go max to the back, so you can put, when you're having the power supply next to these fans, if you want to put it upside down, the power in won't let you because this doesn't go back enough, so it needs to go more in, so you can have, if you want to have cables the other way around to place your PSU, I don't know, if you want to have room for the hoses that are going up, for example, for the AIO, it would be nice if you could put the power supply and you had room to plug it in actually. So this needs to be a little changed also. No, but I mean, as long as they made these rails, I'm answering questions now for some. If they made these rails for 120, I mean, why not? I mean, why not? Because this is not like a fault, but this is a, why the hell didn't they just made 4 extra holes? Because it's just to make 4 extra holes. I mean, it's not nothing major, and you can put it here, and then you can have the AIO here, and that will be awesome. But you can't put a 3.5 anywhere in the case. I mean, you could, but we didn't get there yet. You could put one 3.5 also, and it's really nice because you can get these big ones for 12 terabytes, and you don't need so many small ones. And nobody's gonna buy 4 SSDs to put in a small form factor PC if they could put a very fast SSD or an M.2 and one of these big ones. Everybody would put just one because it's much cost efficient. Buying 4 SSDs, oh my god. So these rails, they can make different pattern for these two, and they can fit everything you need in a small form factor without changing the design of the case. Because it's nothing, they don't need to change it, they just need to make 4 extra holes here and 4 here. It's the same on this side. If you want to put only hard drives, then you just need 4 holes with 4 holes, and that's it. I don't, because you always get these 90 degrees connections for the SATA, so I'm very sure you can fit it. Probably it's, yeah, next revision. Oh. Yeah, next one. Good. uh, I don't know. Let's. Oh yeah, these ones, they come off very easily. So like the feet come off because they used crappy double-sided tape. You could use, this is a really good suggestion, instead of making all this bullshit that is going on, you can make the feet with magnets also, and you can attach them to the side, so it will make it more easier to put the feet on this side or on the other side, just in case, or if do you want to move them around because of your style of furniture, or just use 3M double-sided tape that actually works, so I don't have to all the time take these off, because now I have the both feet on the front where it was the power supply. They already no glue on them. And the same problem on the other side. The small headed screws are falling through this gap on one side, so you need different screws for these. You need bigger head screws. Same problem on the back. It was really nice because they flushed the screws here and here and here, but they didn't do it on this one, and they haven't done it on this one. And this is the front. It would be really nice if you had flush screws. You did it for the back piece where nobody looks and it's already elevated from but you didn't do it on the front. Why? Yeah, it's kind of nice because it you can make it modular, so you can buy different parts for it. Maybe just buy the top or buy this one, the new better one. But I think the best idea for this one, because they fucked up on this one, if they're gonna do a improvised revision, and if you want spare parts for your case, they should give 50% off for all bankers, because they already have our names and our IDs and everything and addresses. So if we order, I want a new one of this, the improved one, we should get 50% off, because they already fucked up on these, and I don't think it's cool. Uh, the side panels I actually have nothing to say about. It's just these halos are poor quality. This one already broke inside. This one is too deep. One of them is glued on. Yeah, but the rest is kind of okay. I mean, side panels work. They're quite good. It's not so much. They're a little bit bent. I don't know why they came like this. Oh, where is it? But right? Oh yeah. They came a little bit bent, but I think it's okay. Ah. Okay, the main case. Oh yeah, I have one more question. Uh, it's in a different language, but I'm gonna answer it. The hard drive is too big, you can't put it sideways. The case is too narrow. So yeah, you can't put it sideways. You have to put it the long way. Yeah. Okay, now the case. Oh, so much. Woo. I think. What the fuck happened? Yeah, we lost image for a second there. uh, let's see. Oh yeah, coming back to this one. Yeah, that's why I made notes. Oh my god, this is so much. On this rack for two SSDs. You can't put hard drive on the bottom. You needed exactly 2 more millimeters. So on the bottom here, you need to put an SSD, and on the top a hard drive. Sorry, you can't put a hard drive down below because it's too thick. It's 2 millimeters too thick. So when you're gonna screw it up, you're gonna actually force it down too much. So yeah, this is kind of bad. So here you can fit one hard drive, one SSD, or two SSDs, but you can't put two hard drives on this one. Okay, let's cut this one, this one, this one. Okay. Look. Okay, did that one. Did this one. Did this one. Okay. Oh, main case. Okay. Too many topics, too little time. Okay. This cable, they made it for the Corsair lineup, but not for the Be Quiet lineup. So if you want to buy like this case, and the cable goes in like this, and then it's not enough room to close the case, so you have to kind of bend it some. Oh, I need to make this a bit higher. It's annoying already. Maybe higher and a little bit more in, and maybe room. Okay. Ooh, nice. Okay, so this cable won't fit inside. See? It needs to be from the other side coming. So this end of the cable needs to go out this way. So, but then I suppose it's not gonna work with the other, because mine already got like super bent here. I almost gave it a perfect 90-degree bend because of this. So yeah, it would be nice if you could give a different 90-degree angle. So yeah. Uh, the standoffs are not black, but that's just how do you call it, a yeah, preference. This is not in focus for some strange reason. Okay. Yeah, the duct tape. The magical duct tape. I had to use one of these extenders from my board. The Asus came with an extender, but the pins are so weak that they don't sit together, so I had to use some tape so they don't fall apart, because you didn't even need to use for, they just fell off. So that's why the duct tape is still here, so I can extend this one. It's too short. The PCB on this one is really squished. The other side. It has a bent, and the button is too mushy. It needs to be a different button, more clicky. It's not fun pressing this one. I mean, it's kind of good for me because I have a kid and they can't press because it's really hard to press. But I really like to be another button and another PCB completely. So don't, Louqe, don't make the cable longer. Change the whole shit. I mean, don't make this one thicker either, because the connections here, or just put hot glue on the connections here so the cable moves from here, not directly from the connections, because they are going to get ripped in like 5 minutes if you're not careful what you're doing. So hot glue, or replace the whole thing with a new one and a longer cable. But don't make just the longer cable, don't make the cheap version, just make a new PCB, a more nice one, that the cables are fixed and they move from a different point in length, not directly from the connections that you soldered to the board. That's stupid. That's really stupid. For me, it's not that big of a deal because I can solder them back, so I can fix it. But if it's anybody else, probably from those 3,000 that you sold, it's probably 20 to 50 people that can fix their own stuff. But this one, they won't fix it, so they will just call you to. Yeah, but uh, I know it's not my. I don't want to mod it because I kind of, it's okay with the LED, not so bright, and I don't like so much light anyway. But it needs to be fixed. It's not a big issue, but it's still an issue, and it's better not to have customers calling for every single screw, every single cable. That's really stupid. Uh, the holes for this hard drive, I had to drill myself. As you can see, it's silver now. Who designed this bracket for these hard drives and these rails did not design this inside. Because I don't know how the fuck you're gonna think that you're gonna have these holes not the same as these holes, or the same as these holes, or the same as these holes, or the same as any other hole that you made. They had to make it smaller for some strange, or they didn't take the layer, the coating, the black coating they put over the material in mind. But regardless of that, everything got coated, so they knew about this. But yeah, let's say they just uh, some of the coating came off on these, but I mean, if you tighten them a little bit too much, it's normal. But you're not gonna see it after if you put the screws back on. Only if you change your power supply or something else and you change the holes. They have different layout. Where's the notes? More notes. More notes. Cut. Come and position. Okay, this one. This one we talked about. Oh yeah, the screws, they also need to be better quality. They're really soft. They're gonna break faster than the halos inside. So better quality on the screws. Bigger heads a little bit. Would be nice to be flat. It'd be nice if you gonna make everything like this, so we can sink everything so it stays flush, so we don't have anything going outside. Okay. Uh, on the back here, the same. The Zotac Mini comes off to probably here somewhere. You still have room for a 3.5-inch drive here. If you get a Zotac Mini, you can have a hard drive here also. Just saying. You can make 4 more holes for a hard drive. So you can have the most possible combinations that people want to do. Because it's really stupid. Because this space, if I buy a Zotac Mini, it's so much space that you don't do anything with it. And it would be really, really nice to put a hard drive here. I mean, you have a hole, but that's just one. Again, you know, ideas. You have those. You are like 5 people in that team. I mean, nobody saw that is way too much space here left if you put a small card. Imagine if I buy one of these AMDs, 20, 24, 2400G, and I have included. It would be really nice to put a hard drive inside and use these for anything else that I would like. That would be really nice. Think about it. The magnets on these, on here, very weak. We need bigger, stronger. This is the lightest touch, and it yeah, I mean, it doesn't stay with, not even if you force it in. So bigger magnets, we need bigger magnets. Too weak. And maybe 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 you can get a nicer cable for power. That would be nice. Go for a flat one. 10 gigabit network card. Yeah, that would be nice. You can have a 10 gigabit, but imagine if you can put, if you would have room for 2 or 3 NAS drives in this cage, just by adding a top hat and having a AMD 24000G inside. You have a good graphics, and then you have a good processor, and then you have so much space inside, so you can use it for anything else, even for a light gaming or light editing or just storing stuff from everywhere, from all over the office or house. That would be really nice. And have these have one SSD here in the back, and don't use the caddy, so you can use a bigger power supply. That would be nice. But still, it's just ideas. And some of the complaints that I have are not so big comparing to other people that I've seen on the forum. So Yeah, I know. They can even make a special bracket if they want, because they have 1, 2, 3, 4 screws here, and they can make a special bracket where you can put 2 hard drives here if you want to use it as a server. That's what I said, because if they would think this a little bit more, because this one almost goes in, so they can make the same bracket but without these little pegs here, so it will actually go in, and just, or make the hard drives support directly on this. When you drop it in, you put the hard drives in and then you just drop it in. That's it. Bang. Even easier. So if you need any time to look at the computer or fix it, just unplug it, pick up both hard drives. That's it. It's a lot to fix, and I'm really pissed off because the feet don't stay and this doesn't stay. Poor magnets, and I can't put a lot of hard drives because they didn't think of this power supply. This hole is too small here. It needs to be bigger here, just a tad more, so you can put the cables in a different way, so we can route them, so we can have room for this one. Because if I put this one in, I don't have where to route the cables anymore from the power supply. See, if I, because they don't give you room for options, so if I put all these two here, I won't be able to route any cables because this hole is so small here. It's like my finger, and that's it. You need to route the cables, I don't know from where. So it'd be really nice to have like a little bit more thought. And this wire is still bugging me from this one, and I don't have a hot glue gun, and I still have the impression that I might lose it. So yeah, it's minor big things that you can fix and would have been perfect, but they had airflow. From what side? From this side? Airflow for what? On this side or on the top? Because most of the thing, yeah, you could, I mean, but that bracket you can put it under to put the hard drives. It doesn't matter. That's why I'm saying, because if you want like airflow, if you put a big AIO here, you still don't have airflow for the for this for the power supply. In any way, whatever you put, you still block it. So, because this one, the you can put it to blow outside the hot air, and it's a lot of holes, so you have where to go with the hot air. But this one pulls from in and drops out. But if you have here the 120 or the 240 that you want to put for the CPU, it's the same. The hot air will go in this one, so this one won't, and this one sends hot air, hot water, and this one gives hot air inside. So if you put the big one, imagine all the hot air on this side and all the hot water coming from this side. So you need a really massive, you can't buy the cheap ones, you need to have like a really performance good one. So any other option, that's what I'm saying, because it's much easier to have the on hard drive here and this big ones that you can buy, and it will be probably the same. Or if they want, they can make the power supply mount the other way around, so you can push the hot air down and make these feet a little bit bigger, and probably it's gonna be okay. Oh yeah. I don't know. What do I have more to say? They can make the case also, if they are still on this, they can make the case half a centimeter bigger, half a centimeter wider. We don't need more than half a centimeter, so we can use a bigger variety of air coolers. So we don't need to do DIY how to bend when I put it in. It'd be really nice, especially on this side with the motherboard. Half a centimeter up, that would be just great. So everybody can mount air coolers much easier and don't have to DIY everything all the time. Yeah, the quality is nice actually. I'm not complaining about the quality. It's nice finish, good color, but just they had 2 years to design this, and I mean it took me the first 2 weeks I noticed this. It just took me a long time to make the video. If I noticed this in 2 weeks and I'm not an engineer, I think Patrick should fire their engineer and just hire a new one, or do uh, just hire a secretary that she can read Slack and put all the ideas on paper, because it's much easier. Because if you have 2,000 people spitting ideas, is much faster than one engineer in 2 years, it seems. If it's a good version if you use the exact components they showed in the videos, because their engineer wasn't smart enough to use a bunch of variety of components, so all their system related on the smallest form factor PSU. Even if they said you can put a bigger one, they said you can put a fan down, but you that's why I'm saying, because if you have their PSU, then you can put the hard drives, or you can put a fan, but that's it. They didn't think of all the other versions, which I'm really surprised, because it's still room inside. And they had already the prototypes. They've seen the magnets are not good. They've seen the tape, the 3M tape was not good. They've seen a lot of stuff. I suppose they did, because there were 5 people looking at the case, and they still haven't noticed the small things that needed to be fixed, like the hose on the. I mean, how the hell do you get the 3 test cases from them, and you don't put absolutely systems, all the absolute everything inside to see if it fits, it works, how you can do cable management. I mean, they just flew through it. They just made a. They had probably a different. They still have probably a different job, and they're just doing this as a sidetrack because they had too much free time. Because an engineer, I'm very sure, would realize this after 2 years. What I managed to figure out in 2 weeks, and it would have beaten all the cases out there. And the same I saw with these how do you call it, top hats, that people had problem bending. It's not a hard fix to stop bending in a metal, you know, because usually I don't have something to show you, because that would be really nice. It's usually done in the car industry. When they do roll cages, they usually perforate the metal in a certain way that gives rigidity. They should have looked at that, because I'm very sure they usually it's on custom cars that have a roll cage inside. That's funny. I don't know. I think a lot of people got even shittier products than me. I think I am quite lucky on this one. It's minimal stuff. The top panel you can put screws on. I can go buy a bunch of screws with little heads and different stuff. But I'm still upset on compatibility and all these small stuff that actually make it for a nice experience, everyday experience. Like your feet not falling off, because people like me need to move it sometimes left to right. I'm not those kind of people. I'm just gonna put it down like a good china and just leave it there for the next 50 years so I can give it away to my grandson or granddaughter. So yeah, that's it for tonight. How much did I talk? I think I talked way too much. 48 minutes. Oh my god, that's not so much actually. Yeah. And some of you guys complained about this riser also. I didn't have any problems, and I still don't have any issues with it. Seems to be very okay. Well placed, not overbent in the back. Seems to be okay. It looks cheap, the plastic and everything, and the PCBs, but it works. Hopefully I don't need to fix it. Okay, good night. See you next time.